Hello everybody, this is the video about this planner over here that I was talking about and the other video about the satellite journals. This is the leather cover that I got in a secondhand store a while ago, and I put a blank booklet from the HEMA inside because of course it is a booklet from the HEMA. Is there anything over here that says that? No. Okay, well that is, I think it's a 340 or 384 page blank book with lines. Very nice. It's decent paper. It has gold sides. I think I've shown this before, but yeah, it's just a little recap. And this, by the way, is a pen loop from Leuchtturm 1917. You can order them separately, but I'm pretty sure you already know that. And I ordered a bunch of them and just stuck them on my journals here, so I always have a pen. But that's not what we're here for. So I was talking about how I used this planner to basically plan out my planning or try to figure out exactly how my planning worked, etc. So I'm going to walk through what I did in here real quick, and then I guess we'll just have a little chat about planning and how to figure out what you like and all that sort of thing, or at least from my perspective. So this is definitely not me telling you what to do, because obviously everybody's unique and all that good stuff. So let's take a look first of all. So this is a really nice cover, but that's kind of beside the point. So anyway, and so this is just a little introduction page where I'm trying out the papers. I'm just writing some random stuff here. And then after a while, I thought, what should I do with this thing? Why don't I start writing in here about my planners and their uses, which is what it says. And I did that on the 24th of March, as it says here. So what I did was I took a look at my entire stack of planners that I was using at the time, which was in March over there. So that is not my current stack. It led to my current stack. Anyway, so I went and looked at all the different ones that I had that I was updating every day, and I came to the conclusion that I had quite a lot of them. Does it continue here? Yeah, a little bit. It has a few more over here. But let's go from the top to the bottom. So I had the catch-all, which was at the time a college Oxford College notebook A5 size. The one with the stickers on the outside. The first one that I actually showed is my catch-all planner, that one. In which I noted my daily activities and my recurring events, my short video topics for another channel, and short random thoughts. And it also was a place for my washi and sticker decoration needs, I guess. Then I had my budget planner A5 from Happy Planner that I unboxed as well on the channel. I still have that, obviously, because it's like a Happy Planner. You can put anything in there you like. So now I just have a nice cover and some other stuff that I can use some other time. Who knows, in the future I might use it again. So I have that specifically for my daily expense list and to track my monthly expenses, or basically set myself a new spending goal for the month after. And I have my life planner from the HEMA, which I also showed on the channel, and I've got an extra one which is currently still blank because I used that for my HEMA review, so I have a couple of those. And in that I was initially going to do my goal setting, and then eventually it turned into notes on the daily activities that I had written over here. So in my catch-all I would have, for instance, foot bath or something, just a short activity prompt, and then in the life planner I would write in that little vertical column what I had done, like perhaps, I don't know, how the foot bath went, or what I feel about that type of self-care stuff, and I would do that every day. And if I had space left, I would use stickers for decoration at the bottom of those pages, kind of fill it up, and also just use stickers that I otherwise may not have used. And then I have my hobonichi weeks, which was the pocket size, supposed to be for my social media stuff and social just stuff in general, like things that I want to go attend, events and stuff like that. I was using that to keep track of my follower counts on the daily. I was using that for a mood tracker on the daily, and also for video ideas infrequently, so not every day. And then we have the English cousin from hobonichi A5. I was doing two different types of daily stamps. Like at the front of the book you have the month layout with the little squares, and in the back of the book you have this one page with a whole bunch of like circles with the numbers of days in it. I was doing both of those, stamping both of those every day, and I was doing Aurora Story Cube stories infrequently, so whenever I feel the need I'll write a story in there. I still do that. Then I have a cousin, Japanese, And I was doing a 5-year daily journaling in there, still doing that. And then we have the millimetrado, same thing, 5-year daily journaling. Then on the next page, I have 2 things. I have here a teacher planner from the Happy Planner that I repurposed for a daily word journaling, so a word a day, basically, every day. And I have an elderly loved ones health tracker, which is something that I published for myself through Amazon KDP, and that is for tracking dementia every visit day that I go visit him, because he is in a care home with dementia, and every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday I go visit there. Tuesday, Thursday, just an hour after work, because of course I have a job, so I can't be there for very long. And then on Saturdays I'll be there for about 4 hours. And after every visit, I take this LW Love One Health Tracker book and I update it to basically say what his state was like, what we talked about, and that type of thing. I'll probably do a separate video on that, because that is its own thing, and it's just something that I made for myself. I do have it available on Amazon in case anybody wants to give that a look and maybe has an elderly loved one that they want to track the health of. Doesn't even have to be somebody with dementia, just in general to see how their physicality is going, etc. There should be a link in my description, but that's a whole different thing. Okay, so that's that. Those are all the things that I had going. And I thought to myself, this is way too much. Like, I'm doing all these things every day. So then I was like, okay, so there are different categories here, I'm sure. There are things that I need, and there are things that I want to do. And then there are things that are just a habit. Like, I'm just doing it because I do it every day, and just kind of like a habit. Lastly, there are things that I do because I felt obligated to keep doing them, which is, I think, a common thing in the planner community, where you buy a planner or something along those lines, or a notebook or something, and then you sit there and you're like, I don't really have a direct use for this, but I also don't want to put it away. And you kind of start using it just because you feel guilty about not using it or not having a direct use for it. So kind of like that is my category here. So I went back to the previous page and this one, and I started coloring this section over here. So over here we have the green is needed. So needed, I want my daily activities and recurring events and short video topics. I needed to have that on my daily thing. I also needed my daily expenses tracked and my monthly totals or spending goals. I needed that. I needed to count my followers every day, and I needed somewhere to put video ideas. And on this page, I needed this one to track the dementia, of course. And that's not something that I do on my daily catch-all, but that's where these colors come into play, because down here we have another little categorization, which I did afterwards. So here I have another bunch of categories for the actual books themselves, or the journals, the planners. And the first one being needs to be its own thing, or can be combined with something else, or on a daily page. So instead of a whole book, I would put whatever it is that I was doing in that particular book or journal in a page format with a bunch of other stuff, and that would then mean that I could just get rid of that book entirely. So if you then look at the different colors here, that means all of these blue ones can be combined. At least all these things that I could combine, I gave this color. And then there were a couple of things that I also would like to put on a daily page. So most of these were put on a daily page, these guys. These I marked as could be combined, but I ended up keeping them separate anyway. This one, the orange one, needs to be its own thing. Yeah, this was the Rory Story Cube cousin. That is indeed its own thing. The daily stamping, I stopped because I was like, yeah, I don't really know why I'm doing this. I mean, it's fun to stamp stuff, but it's not like I'm getting anything from this, and time passes anyway, whether I stamp it or not. So maybe I'll catch up one day with the stamp, because particularly in the one in the back, I was doing like a rainbow pattern, and just for like a visual aspect, maybe I'll just finish that. For funsies, whenever I feel bored, I can do that maybe, but it's not a daily requirement. So that is its own thing, but it's not a daily thing, and that's how it ended up in my satellite journal stack. Next page, teacher planner over here. I do want to keep doing the daily word, but I think I know I eventually put it on daily page because I made it pink, and that's in my catch-all. But I am still doing this separately, and I'm going to grab it to show it to you. Look, this is a Happy Planner, teacher planner, and I think it was originally from 2021, 2022. Should be able to see that. I put stickers on most places that have the months and things mentioned. Let me just grab a month that does not have pictures. There we go. So this is March of 2022. So that would be 2022-2023 school year that this was about. Now the thing with this one is it was on sale on a website that sold Happy Planner among other things. So they had a bunch of other stuff on sale. Occasionally I checked in there to see what was on sale in case there was like a fun Happy Planner that I liked the cover of or something like that. Now, I didn't particularly like the cover of this one, but I had this weird thing about seeing it in that sale list every day and just not seeing it being bought. After a while, I kind of felt like, yeah, you know what, I've seen it so many times now, I've looked at it a whole bunch of times, and even though I don't necessarily have a use for it, it's only 10 bucks, I'm just going to buy it and then we'll figure it out later. At the very least, I could use the discs. Although the discs that were originally in here were just plain black, and they didn't even have that heart shape punched out, so I suspect that maybe they replaced those original discs with something else, and these discs are from a completely different thing. This was a planner that I got at the Action. These discs from some off-brand, I don't know, they're kind of fun. They have a star in the middle and they have like little sparkles in it, so I decided to put those on here. And what I do with it, let's see, let's go to a day that actually has some words written in it. I think I started somewhere early February, trying to avoid showing too many pictures with people in it. Oh, this doesn't have people in it, just a picture of my, what used to be the 2 sections in my bookcase with planning stuff, and those have been expanded to 4 sections by now. Okay, so here is an example of a week spread in a teacher planner. Normally you would have one day and then you would have a whole bunch of spaces here for different classes, different times, but I'm not a teacher, so I don't need that. What I did is I am now putting 1 word per cell in this table, and this is 7 rows and 3 columns. That has 21 cells. So basically what I have here is a word of the day journal that's going to last me 21 years. Now that seems a bit extreme, and I guess it is, but wouldn't it be fun to eventually have a completely filled word of the day planner that goes back 21 years? Who has that? Well, I do now. So that's what I've been doing over here, and let's see, it is currently May the 3rd at the moment. I haven't done today yet, so that's how far we are right now. So I just write the year in red and then the word in either blue or black, or depending on what pen I have in my hand, and it's just 1 or 2 words that remind me, like, oh yeah, I was doing this thing. Like on the 1st, which was Wednesday, I went and looked into how to make my own puppy pads, because my dog, even though she's 7, she occasionally goes to a specific spot in my house, and then if she needs to do stuff, she does it there. So I always have a couple of puppy pads laying there, and they're disposable, so I constantly have to buy new ones, and they're not like expensive. They're pretty cheap, the ones that I get. And so that's not a huge issue, but if I could make my own DIY ones, I could just wash them and then reuse them every time. So I got this vinyl tablecloth that's really, really long, and then I got a whole bunch of cheap dishcloths, like cotton dishcloths, and now I've cut the tablecloth into 2 large strips, and then I'm going to put 4 dishcloths on top of that, or yeah, dishcloths. Like towels, basically dish towels. They're about 50 by 60 centimeters. I don't know how much that is in feet or inches, but anyway, so just a standard dish towel. And so I have 4 of those. I'm going to use these little pressers to push them into place, keep them into place, and then she can like pee over here, and then all I have to wash is this one and maybe the one next to it if it like overlapped a little bit. But then I just put 2 other clean ones on top of that, and then there's still this section that's free. And so basically I'm going to keep doing that, and hopefully that'll last me a long time. And it will save me spending more money on any disposable puppy pads, which is also better for the environment to not be throwing those in the trash every time. So that's what I was doing in this one. That's just a little aside here. So that one goes over here again. And then when I did all of this, I took a little inventory on what it is exactly that I needed. So I have this list here: need, word of the day, daily activities, recurring events, upcoming cases to do, daily expenses review, monthly spending goals, daily follower counts, brainstorm sections as notes, and a mood tracker. And then I went and kind of like looked at what it is that I'm writing and how much I need, and I gave myself like a little 2-line rectangle, like half the page and 2 lines like that. I called a section, so I said that, okay, this needs to be one section, this needs to be one section, this needs to be a little vertical or perhaps a horizontal couple of lines, like a block like that. And then I just kind of cut out pieces of paper, gave them the names of the things that they represented, and just started like puzzling it all together. And that's where that catch-all planner that I showed in the previous video on my planner stack, so the one before last, when I did a review on my planner stack that I'm currently using, that's where that came from. So that's how I arrived on that catch-all planner. And the thing with all of this is that I see a lot of people in the planner community who are, like I said earlier, with that whole brown line, like I feel obligated to use it. I see a lot of people that kind of struggle with their planners because they feel like, oh, I've dedicated myself to this system now. It would be weird if I suddenly switched halfway through the year and it's not quite what I wanted, but it's like the thing that I'm having right now, blah, blah, blah. And they kind of like feel bad about not having found the perfect planner system yet. And I don't think that there is the perfect planner system for anybody, really. I mean, I made a custom one, or I had a custom one printed on a ring planner, and even though for now it has everything that I say that I need on daily uses, I do notice that there are certain things that I'm still not super happy about, but I see that more as a challenge to come up with something better next time. And that's also a fun adventure, just come up with things that are better than last time, or just completely different, experiment a little bit, try something new. And I don't see that as an issue, as long as you're not breaking the bank and you still have enough money left over for all the other things that you need to do, like nobody's really concerned with your spending and stuff like that, and you're not yourself upset with your expenses and stuff like that. All these asides, of course, I don't think that trying something new is a problem. It's an adventure, it's a journey, it teaches you about yourself and what you really need, and it also kind of helps you get over the FOMO part that's also very much present in this community, like the fear of missing out. So like people see a new release, like the other day we had an Erin Condren release and it looked very colorful and everything. I'm not going to buy it because the system, I don't like that at all. The way that it was set up, it's not really my thing. But okay, so people will see that and go, oh my god, the new release is here, I need to get some before the time runs out and all the stock is gone, or stuff like that. Like, oh, the people that were reviewing it were people that were on some type of PR list, I think, and they got to get their hands on the stuff before everybody else got into the store. So there's this whole thing around, oh my god, I need to be there first in line because otherwise I'm going to miss out. And then they get the things, they're like, yay, I got the thing. And then it's like, I don't know if I'm really going to use it, but it's nice though. I guess I'll use it some other day, maybe, give it to somebody else. And they kind of feel bad about having spent the money and stuff like that. And of course, like I was saying earlier, that shouldn't be an issue, but also it's a good exercise to work on that. Like if you've done that a few times already, next time you see another one of those things popping up, ask yourself, do I really want this because I'm actually going to use it? Or is it because I just want it because I think everybody else is going to want it and I want a piece of that pie, like that? I very often have to tell myself, no, I don't really need that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm daily looking for good deals because most of the stuff that I buy for a discount, or I'm looking at secondhand stores. I got lots of fun stuff for very low prices, but I do have a lot of stuff. Like the other day, I saw somebody who had an A6 Moterm zip cover on sale. They were selling it off for some emergency reason. I don't know exactly what the reason was, but it was very nice. It still is very nice. I have it for only €8. And I got my stalogy in there right now, so that one's sitting there snugly. All it has is a small stain somewhere around the zipper, and that's it. It's perfectly good otherwise. So I'm like, oh my god, I can definitely have that because it's so cheap. But it's another thing to add to my list. So I'm kind of like going against or trying to strike a balance between that's a good deal and I really don't need this, like that. Because I'm constantly, like I said, looking. I've got these standard search terms that I enter on the secondhand store websites. Like I look for hobonichi, I look for filofax, and I look for stalogy, I look for mode term, and if nothing shows up in there that I haven't seen before, then I'm like, okay, fine, I'll do something else. But then I get a little bored, like half an hour later, and I'm back on the secondhand website looking at more hobonichi, filofax, anything new maybe. And usually the things there are way too pricey for me, so I leave them alone. But occasionally there is that thing, like I said, that mode term cover. Love that. Got it. Was only $8. I got a vintage filofax 4CLF 1/2, I think it said, for $12 on there. Also a really good deal. Like that type of thing, I can't help myself to grab it because I'm like, oh my god, this is such a great price and I need to have it. So I do buy that. On the other hand, I'm also doing a lot of crafting because I also have a lot of empty planners that I had gotten some time ago, and to put them in the cabinet, like, okay, I'll grab that when I need a new planner or a new whatever. And of course, then that moment never comes because I grab something else. But now I've gone and taken particularly the ring-bound notebooks and taken rings out, and I'm going to use that for my filofaxes because I have a few of those now as well, and I want to put paper in it. And instead of buying the premium filofax paper, I'll just punch a few holes in some existing paper and put that in my filofax, and then that works just as well. And I love doing that type of thing because that's a lot cheaper as well. I think with me, I trip myself up because I'm looking for cheap alternatives, and while looking for cheap alternatives, I buy a bunch of stuff in order to have cheap alternatives that I didn't need in the first place. So that's also a good exercise to work on FOMO and other impulsive buying stuff while you're doing this whole stationery and planner community thing. So, like I said, if it doesn't break the bank and you're not super upset by the whole buying thing, then it's all fun and games, I guess, and a good exercise, and just to test your willpower and to see what it is that you really like so you can get some idea of planner peace, even if it's only for a few months. You know what I mean? Till you find on something else that you're like, oh my god, that is something that I'm definitely going to need to add. But every time that I'm thinking about changing my system, I'm going to grab this one, this journal over here, and just go through this whole thing again to see what it is that I've got, what I need, and then try to come up with a nice custom system to work on that and then have what it is that I need. So that is this journal, my satellite journal in the leather cover. Hope you found it interesting. Make sure to drop a comment below. I'd like to see what everybody's thinking, and I hope to see you in another video as well. Thanks for watching, and bye bye for now.